I'm going to show you the theory of definite and indefinite integrals. As you can see, I'm going to show you first the main differences between them and their characteristics. In definite integrals, the first characteristic is there are no upper and lower limits. By this I mean these numbers are here that represent limits. In indefinite integrals, answers will have x and a constant. It can be any letter, a, b, c. In this case, we always use c. In a definite integral has an upper and lower limit to compose. Another characteristic is at the end of this problem you will have a definite answer. That means you will have a number, no letters. Then the next characteristic is that f of x is a number and represents area under the curve. And to solve a definite integral or indefinite, you first need to find the antiderivative of the function and then evaluate at the endpoints x equals a and x equals b.
Hello, my name is Luis Gomez and today we're going to do the problem number 20 from the lab. So, what the lab is asking us to do, this is the problem right here, and it is asking us to find the antiderivative. So the first step we have to do is rephrase it so it's easier to understand. And in here I'm gonna go ahead and multiply, so 6 times 6, which is 36, and 3 times 2 is 6, so it's to the power of 6. Okay, so now it's rephrased. Now the second step is to start with the antiderivative. So here is the formulas to do the antiderivative. So we're gonna start. In here, since it's 1 and it doesn't have an x or any value like that, just a number, this is gonna turn into an x. Now in here, it's gonna be a little more complicated, so I'm gonna separate it in two. So 7 over 2, and here it's x to the 3/4 plus 1, and n, which is 3/4 plus 1 in here also. Now in this one will be minus 36 x 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1. I forgot the plus sign in here. So now we're gonna continue doing the problem, which is x plus 7 over 2, and in here it's x times 7 over 4 over 7 over 4 minus 36 x to the 7th power over 7. Okay, now the only thing we have to do is make this smaller, so multiply and make it smaller. So it's x plus 7 over 2, but we can do it already in only one fraction. So it's 7x to the 7 over 4, and here it's 2 over 1 times 7 over 4, so we can make this smaller like this, so it's 7 over 2 in here, minus 36x to the 7 over 7 once again. Okay, now what we can do here is make the tortilla rule to make it even smaller. So it's 7 over 1 times 7 over 2. So let's make it in here, 7 over 1, 7 over 2. So it's gonna be 14 over 7, which turns out into a 2. So it's 2x 7 to the power like this, minus 36 x to the 7th power over 7. Now we can turn this fraction into a square root like this one. So let's do it. So it's x plus 2, 4x to the 7th minus 36x7 over 7. And don't forget, in the formula it ends with a plus c. So we're gonna go ahead and add it, plus c. And this is the final answer. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Raul Salinas, and we're gonna talk about definite integrals, which follows by this rule, which is in this bar b on the top and a on the bottom, with fx with the bar b on the top and a on the bottom, which equals the value of fb minus the value of fa. And we're gonna talk about the problem 22 of the lab, which is this bar with the 3 on top, 1 on the bottom, 2x to the power of 3 minus the 4x plus 2 dx. So the first thing we gotta do is separate each individual problem. And the first thing we're gonna do is start with 2x to the power of 3. So we're gonna start separating the two outside of the bar, which will have us left with the x to the power of 3. Every time we have an exponent in this type of problems, we have to add plus 1 on the exponent, and that number will go on the bottom, so which will end up with x to the power of 4 over 4 times 2, which equals x to the 4th over 2. Then this is the first part of the problem, and we're gonna go to the second part, which is the 4x. It's a simple number. We only have to add 1 to the invisible 1 that the x has, so it'll become 2, and we'll put 2 on the bottom, and that will simplify to 2x over 2. So it is a simple step, and we're gonna end up going to the third part, which is that 2. We only have to add an x because it doesn't have a variable, and this is the first part of the problem, which we'll have to add the bar of 3 on top and 1 on the bottom. So the next step is a very important step, which involucrates the 3 and the 1. We'll make different parentheses, and the numbers in the bar will take over the x. So in this case, it's gonna be 3 to the power of 4 over 2 minus 2 times 3 to the power of 2 plus 2 times 3, and then subtracting to this other parenthesis, which is the same but with the number 1, so it will be 1 to the 4th over 2 minus 2 times 1 over to the power of 2 plus 2 times 1. In these parentheses, the result was 40, and on the other parentheses, the result was 12. And on this case is 40 minus 12, which will become 28, and that is the final answer. Thank you so much. I hope you learn a lot about definite integrals and how to solve the problems. Thank you.